my book and wax friends. I am Amber. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back, and welcome if you're new. I post about all things bookish and home fragrance because they are two passions of mine, and I love to share those things with you guys. So today's video is a book tag video. It is the end of summer book tag since we're about to go into the fall season, which I'm beyond excited about. I wanted to do this tag to kind of wrap up summer a little bit, and just to have my thoughts on the books that I've read for the past 3 months. So I thought it would be fun to do, and definitely feel free to do it yourself if you would like. I tag you if you want to do it. So question number 1 is summer camp. Which book had your new favorite character? And that would have to be from The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, or Sayre was this character's name, and he was my favorite, or one of them. There were multiple favorites in this book, but if I had to pick one favorite new character, it would have to be him. So that is my first answer. Question number 2 is summer vacation. What was your favorite book of the summer? That would have to be The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the Mistborn trilogy, the original era. I know there's a era 2 as well, but the original era is a trilogy as far as I remember, and adored it. Stay tuned for my August wrap up to have more thoughts about it, but definitely my favorite of the summer. All right, question 3 is summer rain. What was your least favorite book that you read during the summer? That I didn't have any super disappointing books. I'm not counting books I DNF, so we're not counting those. So as far as star rated books that I finished, my lowest rating was a 3-star actually. So I didn't even have any 2 stars. So of those, I would have to choose Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. It is a classic. I know it's beloved by many. I already was familiar with the story, which is possibly why it only got a 3-star for me. But it wasn't something that I was like, oh, this is such a good book and I can't wait to read it again in the future. So I definitely would have to go with Treasure Island. The next question 4, Last Days of Summer, a book you wish you read this summer. So when I'm filming this, there's a week left in August, but I know I'm not going to get to this book. Which is a bummer because it is on my 25 books I wanted to read in 2025, but it feels summery to me, so I probably won't get to it. And that book is The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. Not only because it feels kind of summery, obviously it probably isn't, and it is a fantasy book. It could take place through multiple seasons, who knows? But it feels summery to me. Or wintry. It almost feels like it could be wintry too, so maybe I'll get to it during December. I don't know. I didn't get to it. And so, yeah, that is my one that I am sad about not getting to over the summer. Okay, question 5 is assigned summer reading, your favorite classic of the summer. Now, technically, this I read at the very end of May, but it was close to June. It was just the last couple days of May, so I'm counting it because it's the only classic, actually, that I've read over the summer, besides Treasure Island, and that was my least favorite. So I'm going with Anne of the Island by Ellen Montgomery. This is the 3rd book in her Anne of Green Gables series. Highly recommend this series. At least read the first book. But the whole series is amazing. I've loved it since I was a kid. It's still an all-time favorite series of mine. Anne of the Island is a continuation of Anne as she's older. She is in college in this one, and it's wonderful. It was 5 stars. I adored it. 5 stars again, because like I said, it's been an all-time favorite series of mine for a long, long time. Okay, then question 6 is back to school shopping. Your favorite book you obtained this summer. So that's hard to choose. Because one of the appeals for me for books is beautiful books. So not only do I love reading the books, I love collecting beautiful books. And so it was hard to choose just one, but if I had to pick just one, like overall, it would be Era of Storms. I think this is a Fairy Loot. Yeah, this is the Fairy Loot edition of Era of Storms. And I did share this in my haul last month, but this is just the outside. But there are, of course, the end papers. The inside dust jacket is just a different version of the regular Era of Storms. But look at this. Look at how gorgeous that naked hardcover is. And then we have the foiling on the end papers. It's just beautiful. And blue foiling, which I love. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I can't remember if this has, it does. And it has a map, which I'm always a fan of. A book with a map is always better, in my opinion. So yeah, this absolutely had to be my favorite, although there's so many that I loved as well, including I knew you were probably expecting me to choose these, my Bibliopolis books, Sprayed Edges of Once Upon a Broken Heart, but I didn't choose those because it's just the sprayed edges that are different. Otherwise, it's the regular US covers, which honestly, I'm not a fan of the US covers. But if it was just sprayed edges, those would be my favorites. But we're talking about all over, at least I am talking about all over book. It would be Era of Storms. Okay, question number 7 is First Day of School, the first book you plan to read this autumn. That would have to go to The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. So this is absolutely going to be my first read once September rolls around. I've been anxiously waiting for it, but it feels more of a fall book to me than it did a summer book. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. So it's the second book in the Spell Shop series. I don't know if it has a specific name, but they're like interconnected standalone books. So you don't have to read the Spell Shop. I definitely recommend reading the Spell Shop because it goes into a character. I don't know if you see the character in this, but the creator of the character in the Spell Shop, it's her story. So anyway, that one for sure. Okay, then the final question is question number 8, favorite subject. Which new releases are you most anticipating? I chose 3. There are multiples that, even more than that I'm looking forward to getting to, but I narrowed it down to 3. So the first one is Good Spirits by B.K. Borison, which is a Christmas book that has to do with, I think, the ghost of Christmas past and falling in love with someone. So I'm interested to see how similar it is to just like Magic by Sarah Hoggle, or there was another one that had to do with A Christmas Carol, and I don't remember. It was a YA, and it was really cute. I read it last year. I will look it up and put the title down here. So I'm interested to see how similar that one is to those 2 books, but it looks super cute and fun, romance, Christmas holiday book. So that one. And then next is Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. That does come out in September, and I'm very excited about that. So that one for sure. She is the author of The Divine Rivals, Duology, and other books as well. This book takes place in the same world as the Letters of Enchantment duology, which is the official name of that duology. And it looks really good. I love Rebecca Ross's writing, and yeah, I can't wait to get to that one. And then probably my number one most anticipated is Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. She is the author of Caraval and Once Upon a Broken Heart, and this is her debut into adult fantasy, and I'm so excited. I'm very, very excited about it. So that's it, you guys. That is my end of the summer book tag, and like I said, I tag you if you feel like doing it yourself, or leave me your answers down in the comments, because I always enjoy seeing people's answers to these book tag questions for sure. So I appreciate all of you. Please like and subscribe if you haven't yet for more book and home fragrance content. And until next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.